Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Learn English with Podcast. I'm Pacha, and today we're going to explore an interesting and important topic: how we see other cultures. We live in a diverse world where different cultures, traditions, and ways of life exist side by side. Learning about other cultures can open our minds, challenge our assumptions, and help us build better relationships with people from different backgrounds. In today's episode, I'll share a personal story about how my perspective on other cultures changed after traveling and meeting people from around the world. Along the way, I'll introduce important vocabulary and phrases to help you discuss this topic in English. Let's get started. Growing up in a small town. I grew up in a small town in Thailand. It was a peaceful place where everyone knew each other and life followed a simple rhythm. Most of the people in my town were Thai, and we shared the same customs and traditions. We celebrated Songkran, the Thai New Year, visited the temple on important holidays, and enjoyed traditional Thai food like pad Thai and green curry. When I was young, I had very little exposure to other cultures. I only knew about the world through books and television. I remember watching an American TV show and wondering, why do they eat hamburgers and fries all the time? I also saw images of people celebrating Diwali in India and wondered why they lit so many candles. At that time, other cultures seemed strange to me. Not bad, just unfamiliar. But that would change when I got the chance to study abroad. Vocabulary from growing up in a small town. Culture, the customs, arts, and social behavior of a group of people. Example, Thai culture is known for its food and hospitality. Custom, a traditional practice or behavior. Example, visiting the temple is a common custom in Thailand. Tradition, a belief or activity passed down through generations. Example, Songkran is a Thai tradition celebrated every April. Exposure, the state of being introduced to something new. Example, traveling gives you exposure to different cultures. Unfamiliar, not known or experienced before. Example, Indian festivals were unfamiliar to me as a child. Studying abroad in the UK. When I turned 18, I got a scholarship to study in the United Kingdom. It was my first time traveling outside of Thailand. I was both excited and nervous. On my first day at university, I met my roommate, Sarah, from Canada. She was friendly and invited me to have dinner with her friends. At the dinner, I met people from different countries: Italy, Japan, Brazil, and Nigeria. Everyone brought a dish from their home country. Sarah offered me a slice of shepherd's pie and said, "This is a traditional British dish made with meat and mashed potatoes." I tried it and was surprised. It was delicious. I also tasted sushi from Japan, pasta from Italy, and jollof rice from Nigeria. I realized that food is more than just nourishment. It's a way to connect with people and understand their culture. That night, I went to bed thinking, there's so much more to the world than I ever imagined. Vocabulary from studying abroad in the UK. Scholarship, financial support for education. Example, I received a scholarship to study abroad. Excited, feeling happy and eager. Example, I was excited to start university. Mashed potatoes, potatoes that are boiled and crushed into a soft texture. Example, shepherd's pie is made with mashed potatoes. Nourishment, food necessary for health and growth. Example, food provides nourishment for the body. Connect, to establish a relationship with someone. Example, sharing food helped us connect with each other. Facing cultural differences. As time passed, I started noticing cultural differences in everyday life. In Thailand, we are taught to be polite and respectful, especially toward elders. We greet people by placing our hands together and bowing slightly. The way But in the UK, people greet each other with a handshake or a hug, even strangers. One day, I accidentally bumped into someone at the store. I immediately bowed and said, "I'm sorry." The person laughed and said, "No need to bow. It's okay." I also learned that in Western culture, people often express their opinions openly. In Thailand, we are more reserved and try to avoid conflict. At first, I found this directness uncomfortable, but over time, I realized that being direct helps build trust and understanding. Vocabulary from facing cultural differences, polite, showing good manners. Example, it's important to be polite to elders. Respectful, feeling or showing regard for someone's feelings. Example, we are taught to be respectful to teachers. Direct, expressing thoughts or feelings openly. Example, he was direct about his feelings. Conflict, a disagreement or argument. Example, we try to avoid conflict in Thai culture. Reserved, slow to reveal emotions or opinions. Example, he's very reserved when talking about personal matters. Building cultural understanding. One evening, I sat down with Sarah and asked, "Do you think it's hard to understand other cultures?" She smiled and said, "It takes time, but the more you listen and observe, the more you understand." She was right. Over time, I became more comfortable with British customs and even started using phrases like cheers and mate. I also taught Sarah about Thai culture. One day, we made green curry together, and I explained how Thai flavors are balanced between sweet, spicy, salty, and sour. Sarah said, "This is amazing. I've never tasted anything like this before." Through food, language, and shared experiences, I realized that understanding other cultures is about being open-minded and curious. Vocabulary from building cultural understanding. Observe to watch carefully. Example, I observed how people greeted each other, customs, traditional ways of doing things. Example, different countries have different customs, flavors, the taste of food. Example, Thai food has a balance of different flavors. Open-minded, willing to consider different ideas. Example, it's important to be open-minded about other cultures. Curious, eager to learn about something. Example, I was curious about British culture, a new perspective. By the time I graduated, I had friends from all over the world. I realized that learning about other cultures doesn't mean changing who you are. It means expanding your understanding of the world. Now, when I travel, I no longer feel nervous about different customs or languages. I see them as opportunities to connect and learn. Cultural differences no longer divide us, they help us grow. That's the end of today's story. I hope you learned some useful vocabulary and gained insight into how understanding other cultures can help us grow. Don't forget to subscribe to Learn English with Podcasts. Keep learning, stay curious, and see you next time.